several years, the 40-year-old has been MIA online, overnight returning to Twitter with a personal message saying the backlash she received for tweets she posted several years ago affected her so much that she attempted suicide.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Vibes. We talk about actress Constance Wu. Yes, Constance Wu, the actress from the hit TV show Fresh Out the Boat on ABC television, which she displayed an Asian mother representing an Asian family unit, showing the Asian culture of it. But she revealed this week on Twitter that she almost tried to commit suicide throughout the renewal of her show. We'll get to that coming up. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag #ViralHealingConnect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on Vibe. We talk about Constance Wu. Yes, Constance Wu, a famous actress of Asian representation. She revealed that she almost committed suicide while she was the announcement of her hit show Fresh Out the Boat was getting renewed, and at that time she wanted to commit suicide, but many people didn't know about it, and so that's what mental health plays a crucial role, crucial factor. Constance Wu did an op-ed about it, revealing why she was thinking suicide thoughts at that time, and they all relate to her show Fresh Out the Boat. Let's get to the latest on what's going on and how Constance Wu almost wanted to end her life.
Her career was on fire. Constance Wu starring in films like Crazy Rich Asians, and going toe-to-toe for J-Lo in the 2019 crime drama in Hustlers.
I don't want to hurt anybody.
Me either. But for the last several years, the 40-year-old has been MIA online, overnight returning to Twitter with a personal message saying the backlash she received for tweets she posted several years ago affected her so much that she attempted suicide, writing, "I was afraid of coming back on social media because I almost lost my life from it. 3 years ago, when I made careless tweets about the renewal of my TV show, it ignited outrage and internet shaming that got pretty severe. In 2019, Wu made controversial tweets when responding to the renewal of her ABC series, Fresh Off the Boat, one of the few shows on TV starring a primarily Asian cast in the lead roles."
Me and Ezra are in the play.
You are? Why? You're not going to become actors. You think they're going to put two Chinese boys on TV?
The 40-year-old tweeting, "So upset right now that I'm literally crying." When a fan wrote, "Congrats on your renewal, great news," Wu responded, "No, it's not." Wu's comments sparking concern, the actress later clarifying that she was disappointed because the renewal meant she'd have to turn down a passion project. Wu eventually deleting her account altogether.
Social media is like peer interaction on steroids. And so any potentially negative experience can really be intensified.
Wu writing in her latest tweet, "I felt awful about what I'd said, and when a few DMs from a fellow Asian actress told me I'd become a blight on the Asian American community, I started feeling like I didn't even deserve to live anymore."
I would encourage you to think for yourself, the way you encourage your class to think for themselves.
The actress now saying she wants to help people talk about the uncomfortable stuff in order to understand it, reckon with it, and open pathways to healing.
Constance Wu almost wanted to end her life in the worst way possible. We do here on Viral do not advocate no one committing suicide. If you're having problems and stuff, there is a number, 988. This is the new number. If you're having suicidal thoughts, your mental health ain't space, you're not thinking all white straight, you need help. There is help out there. And you can call this number right here, the National Suicide Hotline right here on your screen, and also the new 988 number. We do not want nobody to go through and be hurt and end their life. You only have one life to live. And Constance Wu, thank God she did not do what she was thinking she was doing at that time. Let's hear from what you people had to say out there. And it's past stuff that Constance Wu had said that led to that from a couple of years earlier, from earlier segments throughout that you'll see on What People Say into now. So let's hear what you people had to say. Constance Wu almost wanted to commit suicide. Let's take a look at what people say.
I feel so bad for Constance Wu because she was literally attacked to the point where she didn't want to live anymore just because she wanted to do more with her career than be on a sitcom TV show. She had just come off the high of Crazy Rich Asians and Hustlers, and she just wanted to do more films, more movies, to do more with her career. And she was attacked for being, oh, I can't believe I shot the bow, I renewed it again. Like, okay, let's calm it down. She just wants to do more with her career. Like, I feel so bad for Constance Wu because she was literally attacked to the
This week, actress Constance Wu returned to social media after nearly 3 years off of it, facing an uproar over comments she made back in 2019. And she put out a statement. You can see it right here. If you want to read it, it's available on both Twitter and on Instagram. There's a lot there. Some of it pretty shocking, including that Constance Wu revealed that she had survived an attempted suicide back at that point, facing, following the backlash that she received. And she talked about some of the backlash from members of the Asian American community to her comments. She had effectively said, upon finding out that the show she was on, Fresh Off the Boat, I believe it was being renewed, that she didn't want that to happen. There was other stuff that she wanted to work on. And a lot of people had a big problem with that. Some people had the biggest problem with that, and they could not accept her as a human following that. And so she fled social media for literally years. She attempted to take her own life. And now she's talking about the need not only for a little bit more acceptance, but also particularly in the Asian American community, she says there's not enough of a respect or, culture of taking care of your mental health, particularly through therapy. And so there's a national study actually back in 2007. It reported that while nearly 18% of the general U.S. population sought mental health services in 1 year, only 8.6% of Asian Americans did as well. There's a lot of social stigma and everything. And so, especially considering the risk of further harassment against her, she knows that it exists. The fact that she would come out and reveal all of this, I think, is, I think it's probably going to be very helpful to a lot of people, River. But what do you think?
Oh, I agree. I also, my first response is just concern for her safety again for doing this, but my hope is that in the time that she spent off of social media, eventually was able to come to a place of safety in herself, which is what it seems like, but I do think that it's not, we talked about this at the top of the show of people saying like, oh, it's just a live mention or whatever. And like, social media can very easily be a very dangerous place for anyone. And then when you get into the specifics of identity and for each person, it just ratchets it up even more. And so for her to come out and speak to her community, because I feel like mental health is just like not talked about within so many spaces. Again, each aspect of people's identity to keep people away from that. So I think when you are within those communities, within those spaces, populations, to come out and say, hey, this is something that we don't talk about is very important so that people can see that reflected back to them and see that it's okay to do so. But I do really think that it is very important for people to understand and take space from these things because it can be so dangerous so fast. It's like we talk about these rabbit holes that we jump into, and it's like, you can slide into a rabbit hole of danger so quickly on social media.
You can,
yeah, you really can. And like, it's hard to maintain that safety and the lifeline of like getting away from it, cause for a lot of people, it is a lifeline. Like I know for queer people, trans people specifically, it's where you can actually find other people like you,
Sure.
When you're in isolated cities, rural communities and stuff, it can be this lifeline that's also so dangerous so quickly for anybody. But I think too I think the actor's name is Rosemary Tran, who is just like chased off of social media for simply existing, for simply being in a movie that people didn't want her to be in. And it's just, it's super dangerous, super quick.
Yeah, it's just a toxic, it's a toxic, murderous mix of misogyny and racism and transphobia and a lot of different things, and not nearly enough is done culturally to fight back against it. And you're right about those rabbit holes. I spent a couple of minutes. Oh, people are saying it's Kelly Marie Tran. Thank you.
Kelly Marie, thank you.
Yes, she was driven off. I don't think she's back on social media. I think
no, she's not. She's absolutely not.
I looked at the comments, the YouTube comments below the latest Lord of the Rings show trailer, and I don't want to be a human anymore.
Yeah.
People are so messed up. Anyway, that's a longer conversation we unfortunately don't have time for. What I do want to say, though, is that, a lot of people I know experience these thoughts or other mental health issues. Apparently 20% of American adults experienced a mental health illness back in 2019. And, there always has been, numbers you can call their groups for support, but it actually just this week has become a little bit even more convenient. If you're experiencing these sorts of thoughts and you want someone to talk to, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline launched a new 3-digit number allowing people to call or text 988 to route them to a hotline of trained counselors starting Saturday. It's going to be available across the entire United States. It is a dedicated line. Everybody experiences thoughts. If you are, there is help available. So just know that.
From those times.
All right. Men, you are happy Constance Wu did not commit suicide, did not want to take her own life. Kudos to Constance Wu. If you're ever in that mood, ever in that saying you need to call someone, let them hear you out, vent to somebody to get your message across, to help people understand where you're thinking and where you're going at the time, and get the free space of mind that you need. But there's always help out there. Don't be afraid to ask for help or call for help if you know your mental space is not where it needs to be. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of we talk about actress Constance Wu said that she almost wanted to take her own life. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and thank you all for watching this edition of